Am I the asshole? For not helping my brother pay for an engagement ring, when I got our grandmas for free. For some context, I married my wife, almost right out of college at age 22. A lot of people said I was rushing things, but we didn't care. My grandma loved my GF at the time, now wife, and she knew I was a broke college kid, so she offered me her old engagement ring to give to her. It was an amazing surprise. She and my grandpa were married 50 years before he passed away, and I love having the ring be a part of my marriage as well. It's not important to me, but for context, it's a very nice ring that new would probably weigh more than 10K. She unfortunately passed 2 years ago. It's been 7 years, and now my brother, I'll call Charlie, who has been with his GF for 6 years, wants to propose. He unfortunately has been hit by a layoff this year, so money is a little tight for him. He asked me, since I got my ring free, if it'd go in with him to pay for an engagement ring. I honestly thought that was ridiculous. If he had asked for a loan, I may have been open, but he just straight up asked for me to pay for part of it. My wife and I are fortunate to both have good jobs, but we have a kid now and are trying for another, so we are not big spenders. His GF has a good job, but for obvious reasons, he doesn't want to ask her to pay for her own engagement ring. I personally think he should just pay for the ring he can afford, and if she wants to at a later time in life, upgrade it when their finances are better. He's telling me him being an who lucked out with a free ring, and saying him being selfish by not at least helping. I feel like that's a little ridiculous, but when I was telling my co-worker about it, he said he understand Charlie's point and that I did luck out. Edited to fix typos, but will happily answer relevant questions. Not the asshole. Your grandma's property was hers to give. I only presume she left a will that your brother was part of, at whatever level grandma was able to and considered prudent. He's not an asshole for asking, but he does have to accept your no. Given that our society is individualistic, he shouldn't really expect help from his family like that. If we had a more communal society where we took care of each other and shared our bounties with each other, then maybe, but we don't live like that. Not the asshole. Your grandma giving you her ring wasn't something you asked for, and was a gift from her heart. It also doesn't mean you owe your brother anything for having been given that gift. If your brother can't afford the ring he wants for his fiancée, then it doesn't mean you are required to pay for half of it, by virtue of having been given a gift 7 years previously. Not the asshole to say no. Whether you lucked out or not, that doesn't put you on the hook for your brother's bad financial situation. Don't let him guilt trip you into this. So if you receive a gift, you have to then pay off anyone else who didn't get the same gift. Your brother is being ridiculous. Not the asshole. Why is bro getting engaged now? What's the rush? It's weird that they've been together for 6 years and he's thinking of proposing now that he's been laid off. He's waited 6 years. He can wait until he gets a job and saves the money. You don't owe him anything. Your grandma died 2 years ago. After he'd been with his GF for 4 years, she had plenty of time to gift him something like whatever she gave your mum and aunt, but chose not to. It's not your responsibility to make up for it. Not the asshole. Bro is. Edited. Not the asshole. I'm assuming your grandma was of sound mind when she gifted you the ring, so he shouldn't think he's entitled to help. If you gave me an engagement ring that your brother paid for, I would say, "Is your brother marrying me too?" and decline the proposal. There is no point to either of yours engagement rings. None whatsoever. This whole thing is messed up. Charlie begrudges you and it won't stop because you bought his fiancée her ring. Who does that? Not the asshole. Not the asshole. What is with Reddit's obsession with fairness in cases like this? Life isn't fair. Sometimes it is a matter of timing whether something works for one person but fails for another. Grandma has a relationship with Ops then GF, this lead to her wanting to give her ring when they wanted to marry. Ops' brother wasn't getting married or close to it, so why would Grandma think about fairness regarding gifting a ring? Some people just don't think about things like that in the excitement. But this doesn't make it Op's responsibility to make it fair for his brother. Him being selfish by not at least helping. Info: what kind of help is he looking for money-wise? You say it is probably worth 10k new. I'm not sure why you say probably. Certainly such a valuable piece has been professionally appraised for insurance purposes. That however is replacement value. But the actual value of the ring is received 7 years ago would be far less. Used jewelry doesn't have that kind of resale value. Not the asshole. If he can afford to be married, he can afford to get engaged. Not the asshole. If he can't pay, he shouldn't propose. Simple as that. An engagement is a commitment, both emotional and financial, and if you can't afford the ring, don't do it. So let me get this right, he wants you to pay for an engagement ring or part of it because you got a free ring, so in turn he would get a free ring, and effectively means that you paid for the ring your wife has and he pays nothing? Natar, he shouldn't even be thinking about that with no job. Get yourself together, then think about that. Not the asshole. If he can't afford a ring now, maybe he shouldn't propose until he can afford something. Not the asshole. While it's true that you didn't have to pay for an engagement ring, that doesn't mean you have to help him pay for one. His financial situation sucks, and it might have been okay if he had asked for a loan, with the intention of paying it back, but outright asking for the money and then insulting you and calling you selfish when you don't agree is incredibly rude. Surely there are places that have payment plans, so he doesn't have to give over a lot of money all at once. Maybe he shouldn't get engaged while unemployed. Not the asshole. He's trying to punish you for getting a free gift. He can wait a little longer until he finds a new job and then buy the ring. B, propose with a cheaper ring and later upgrade it. Not the asshole. It is tacky to ask someone else to pay for an engagement ring. If they can't afford the real thing, make do with fake or without. The engagement is not all about the ring. Not the asshole. He is being entitled. If he can't afford it, he shouldn't buy it. He doesn't sound mature enough for a relationship yet. Not the asshole. Your brother sounds entitled, you don't owe him anything. And if he has no job, why is he trying to buy a ring? If you give in next, it will be, can you pay for my wedding because you got a free ring? Can you pay for my honeymoon because free ring? It will never end. Not the asshole. Nothing wrong with him simply asking for help, but setting it up as an obligation because of your grandmother's ring was lame. Not the asshole. The ring was given to you at a different time. Those who are considering it an inheritance are just not right. I have some jewelry from my grandmother given to me years before she passed. That was separate from inheritance, which was split evenly. Your brother is being entitled to your money. He needs to purchase a ring he can afford. I think there is more to his ring story than he is telling you. Maybe he promised a ring greater than he can afford. Maybe he has been saying he has been saving for a ring for years. Maybe her family has certain expectations of what he can afford, etc. Not the asshole. There's a price to pay for being the eldest. You had to grow up with your parents. In most cases, the younger kids get a little more grace by being raised by your parents. Your grandma knew your GF and she explicitly chose to offer it to you, for her. His life, his proposal, his problem. Not the asshole. I've never heard of anything like this. Your brother is TA. Not the asshole. Sorry, I don't mean to be rude, but is this an American thing where people feel entitled to other people's money? I ask because I see so many of these and they're all from the States. Like my sister says I should pay for her vacation, my brother says I should pay for his wedding. Weird. Not the asshole. Grandma helped you out when you were just getting started in life at 22. That was her gift to give. You don't owe your brother anything for grandma's gift. It's also a weird timing for your brother to decide to propose with a ring he can't afford right after being fired. Next he'll ask you to pay for the wedding because he got fired and you still have a job, so you lucked out again.